Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Chris, and today I'll be explaining how you can increase your rank in League of Legends next season. Do you happen to play League of Legends and wonder to yourself, how can I increase my rank? Well, this is a question many League players have asked from Iron to Masters, and there are many things you can do specifically based on your main champion or your role to increase your rank, even your own skill level. However, explaining every little detail is nearly impossible due to the game changing constantly. I'll be sharing the most general tips and tricks I have gathered from many online sources and my own first-hand experiences to help you on your ranked journey next season and for many seasons to come. In order to increase your rank, you'll have to change several things about what you're currently doing in game, between games, and your own mental attitude. Alright, I don't want to drag this video on for too long, so first off we have in-game tips. Despite who you are playing and where you're playing it, you must know your champion's micro and macro. Pro Guides defines micro as how you move your character, ability usage, and timing. This is how good you are with the champion and how well you use their tools, often referred to as mechanics. Macro is easily defined as how well you use your micro, along with receiving information and using the information to influence the map. In short, this means how efficiently you play. To increase your micro, simply, you're going to want to have to play more games. You're going to want to have a select few characters you want to play, preferably one or two. Challenger mid-beast player states in order to climb, you need to have consistent performances, and the number one way to have these performances is to master 1 to 2 champions, learning every single mechanic and matchup the champion has. A great way you can learn specifics for your champion is looking up who the best player is for the champion and then studying what they do. Take notes. Learn how they play because they obviously know what's going on. If you are not much of a note taker, alternatively, you can create a practice tool game, set up a dummy, and then just practice combos until you feel like your mechanics are good enough. Now, both of these strategies have been proven to work because even people who are already challenger will study other challengers to gain more knowledge, along with practicing in the practice tool. Personally, I found both of these to work with my favorite champions because if I didn't have some information from high level skilled players, I would lose a lot more games than I have. Next up is improving your macro. It is important to note that each role has their own macro, but they all have one important thing in common, and that is map awareness. According to Dan from Pro Guides, map awareness is knowing what is going on the map so you can make the best decision possible. It is called map awareness because usually looking at your map, you can gather enough information to influence you to make a decision. For example, let's say I'm not doing anything in the bot lane, and I look at the map and see all 9 other players are at the dragon. Now, I can use this information of seeing something happening to make the choice to either help them or not help them. Now, a way to train yourself to look at the map regularly is to set a timer to go off every 5 seconds and look at the map every time it goes off to build a habit of looking at the map often. This has worked for me because after getting tired of getting flamed for not rotating to certain events in the game, I decided that I was going to train myself to look at the mini-map. So I tried the timer tactic, and sure enough, after a couple games I built a habit of looking at the map every couple seconds. Now, these are just a couple of the most basic things you can do to improve your league play in game. Well, the next important thing you can work on is your in-between games and your mental attitude. Now, we can divide this category into a couple of points, being pre-game research and dodging and being tilt-proof. Pre-game research is easily done with websites such as op.gg, blitz.gg, u.gg, and there are many others. What these websites will allow you to do is while you're in Champ Select, you can view your team and their statistics on how they play the game. You can see if anyone is off their main role or intentionally losing games, and if you have 2 or more people off role, then utilize the dodging tool. Dodging is when you leave Champ Select before the game goes through, making the game not happen, losing you 3 LP and giving you a 5-minute queue timer. This may seem bad, and you may ask, why would anybody do this intentionally? Well, losing 3 LP is 5 times more worth it then losing 15 LP, and then wasting 25 minutes of playing a game out that was just doomed from the start instead of waiting 5 minutes to just requeue. It is used and recommended by many challenger players. As Midbeast states, I cannot emphasize how important dodging is in the journey of climbing. As well as being able to determine whether to dodge or not, pre-game research can also get you advantages on the enemy team. Once the game goes through and everyone is loading in, you can now view live games. While viewing a live game, you can see the statistics of the enemy team as well as yours. You can see if somebody took the wrong runes, is on a losing streak, or is off-roll themselves and nobody dodged them. You can use this information against them by focusing these weaknesses. Now, let us say you just lost a game, and now you're tilted. Tilt can be defined as a mental or emotional state where being frustrated causes a player to perform worse. This is one of the most devastating things in not only League of Legends, but in games in general. It is especially dangerous in League because once you lose one game, not only did you waste time and gain nothing, you actually wasted time and lost LP. And to get back to where you originally wanted, you now have to play 2 games just to be positive by 1 game worth of LP. This is now a 2-hour time investment, and it is very frustrating, so it is extremely easy to get tilted after 1 or 2 losses, especially if the game is not necessarily your fault. As Challenger player Hector from SkillCap states, MOBAs are very likely the most frustrating game type of all. Playing with random people every game is a recipe for disaster. There are many ways to prevent losing mass number of games from tilt. The first being the obvious: do not queue up if you are already in a bad mood or tilted from a prior game. As ProGuide states, staying level-headed in solo queue is already hard enough. Don't make it harder by playing when you are already emotionally vulnerable. This is just as important to climbing the ranked ladder than actually being good at the game. The next tip given by ProGuides ties in with this very well, and that is to pace yourself. What this means is that the ranked season is a little bit shorter than a year, so you do not have to rush to go and get your ranked goals at the beginning. You can take it slowly. An effective way to ensure you get the highest quality of gameplay out of yourself is to only play a couple games at a time. This ties together with the other tip because if you only play a few games, you can only lose a few games as well, resulting in less losses than if you continued playing. This is highly effective. I found in my own personal experience. I tried this in Season 10, and my goal was to reach Diamond. I played around 3 to 5 games a day, and I climbed all the way up until I was a couple games away from my goal. However, I grew impatient, and I did not follow the previous steps, and I ended up losing a few games. After losing a few games, I should have took a break, but I did not. I proceeded to keep queuing up over the next 3 days, and out of the next 30 games I played, in one huge tilt spree, I had lost 25 of them. I ended the season at the bottom of Plat 4 in one huge losing streak. If I had just taken a break after the first couple games, I could have ended the season at my goals. Hey, without sounding like too much of a coper, in my research I found there are countless ways to increase your rank in League of Legends. You just have to find the one that works for you the best. And what I have given you in this video is just the most basic tips that'll help you improve in the first place. At the time of me doing this, the next rank season will be starting pretty soon, within like a month or 2. Use these tips and may have the best luck in your next games. I'll be using these tips myself, and hopefully we can all reach our goals this season. Good luck, guys.